Human Rights. Pranay Samayajala, come on up. And it's really special to be able to welcome them here because Hindus for Human Rights, much like us in the Jewish community, are going against the grain in our own community to resist religious nationalisms happening in our name. So a special sibling organization.
Namaste, everyone. My name is Pranay Samayajala. I'm the Director of Research and Advocacy Campaigns at Hindus for Human Rights. We're an organization that was formed in 2019 to provide a Hindu voice of resistance to caste, Hindutva, racism, and all forms of bigotry and oppression. We at Hindus for Human Rights have joined this pilgrimage for peace, what we would call in Sanskrit a Shanti Yatra, because our dharma, our sacred duty as Hindus, calls us to stand for justice. It calls us to stand with all people suffering under the weight of violence and oppression. And in this moment, in this devastating moment, our dharma calls us to stand in unyielding solidarity with the people of Gaza. Time and time again, our Hindu scriptures and stories emphasize the sacred importance of satya, of truth. And we're here today because in spite of all the hate and the lies and the propaganda being fed to us by our political leaders and our media institutions, we know the truth about what is happening right now in Gaza. We know that what is unfolding in front of our very eyes is not just a war or a conflict. What we are witnessing is nothing less than a genocide fueled by our tax dollars and carried out with the full-throated support of this shameful administration against the people who have suffered for decades under an inhuman regime of apartheid, siege, and occupation. And we're here today in the spirit of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the world is one family, to say loud and clear what we know in our hearts to be true. That the only way to bring about a real and lasting peace is an immediate ceasefire, the release of the hostages, and an end to this brutal occupation. We dream of a future where all the people of Palestine, Jews, Muslims, Christians, and everyone else, is free to live together in peace, dignity, and liberation from the river to the sea. And just as we at Hindus for Human Rights stand against the violent, exclusionary, ethno-nationalist Hindutva ideology that is threatening democracy and human rights in India, so too do we stand with our Jewish siblings against the violent, exclusionary, ethno-nationalist Zionist ideology fueling this genocide of the Palestinian people in Gaza. Our struggles are interconnected, so too our futures, and so too is our shared liberation. And we recognize that we are part of a long and rich tradition of radical Desi solidarity with the Palestinian people. I'd like to conclude my remarks today with the words of someone who exemplified that tradition far better than I could ever hope to do. The Urdu poet Faiz Ahmed Faiz, who in his work championed the downtrodden and dreamt of a liberated future for communities across South Asia and the rest of the world. And this poem, which is translated into English as "For the Palestinian Martyrs Who Never Came Home," was written in 1980 while Faiz was living in exile in Beirut. And here's the poem. Wherever I have gone, earth of my homeland, the scars of your humiliation burning in my heart, the candles of your dignity, a light in my heart, your love and the pain of your memory came with me. The scent of your orange blossoms came with me. The company of every unseen comrade stayed with me. So many hands clasped to mine stayed with me. In the unfriendly streets of a foreign land I wandered. In unknown cities without names or signs I wandered. I opened my banner of blood even there, and the flag of my homeland Palestine waves there. Your enemies laid waste to one Palestine. In each of my wounds lives another Palestine. Thank you all so much. And in the spirit of this beautiful interfaith Shanti Yatra, I'll leave you today with a prayer. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the people in the world be happy and free. Thank you. Free Palestine.
Thank you.